Hi everyone, I'm Alan from The Rabbit Show, live from the Bradford Premier Small Animal Show in Doncaster, United Kingdom. And we're joined this afternoon by Daniel Bennett. He is the COD, or Certificate of Development holder, for a brand new breed of rabbit that is trying to get into the BRC that we're accept in recognition, and that's the standard Plush Lop. So welcome, Dan. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule. Not only busy schedule, but I'm sure it's a nerve-wracking schedule to get to this point at this prestigious show. This is like the ARBA convention for you guys, where a lot of this really important stuff happens, like breed acceptance. So before we get into the how-tos and maybe compare and contrast with how we do it in the ARBA, because a lot of our audience comes from US, tell us about your breed, the standard Plush Lop. Where did they come from, and how on earth did you get involved in them?
So the particular line that we are using is from Australia. Our friend imported them from Australia to where she is in Luxembourg, and then subsequently we've crossed those with our own line of dwarf lops. Obviously the Rex gene is carried, so breeding the back out, we've got these guys coming out.
So they're a recognized breed in Australia currently.
That's right. Yeah.
Do you know how long they've been breed in Australia?
For about 15 years.
15 years. So they're one of the relatively new breeds.
That's right.
In that country.
Yeah.
Are they popular in Australia?
Pockets. There's pockets like different breeds of like popularity.
And they come in what colours in Australia?
They are accepted in all colours, I believe, in Australia. Christine Toyer is the instrumental person for them in Australia.
So Christine was from Australia,
yeah,
originally, and now she lives in Luxembourg. And she brought that breed, the standard Plush Lop, with her.
And some minis as well.
And
so she's working on where she is in Luxembourg, because in Europe they have them standardised in different countries. But their breed standards are all different compared to what we've got here.
So they're standardised in continental countries in Europe, but not
that's right,
in England.
Yeah.
And so let's just kind of wrap up the history. So they're from Australia.
So
Christine brought them to Luxembourg.
That's right, yeah.
And then how did you guys get involved?
Well, we were looking on the websites and we kind of liked the look that they have. Sue Blauman and Ross Blauman have been working on them for a little while over here on the minis. They did their first presentation at London last year, and that was accepted, so they've passed their first one, so they've got things that they need to do for the next presentation and breed so many certain animals, etc. for that. And so they've been over here already, but because of the size, it was easier for us to use Christine's animals over our animals to create these guys.
Because what you've been kind of hinting at, there's two versions of this. There's the standard Plush Lop, and then there's an even smaller version called the
mini Plush Lop.
The mini Plush Lop. What is the weight range on these standards?
Off the top of my head, I can't tell you. About 5 pounds, five and a quarter, roughly. So it's similar to a dwarf lop, but we want these guys to look a bit bigger, so the weight limit is probably going to be up to bit, so that they be, because of the Rex, they get nice big shoulders.
Bulkier or muscular. And then what size is the mini Plush Lop?
So the mini Plush Lop is probably about 312.
So it's more in line with what you consider a mini lop, which is what in the US we call a home lop.
Yeah, that's right.
Very good. And you're saying that they're similar breeds in terms of their design, but this breed, this standard Plush Lop, is a little bit more muscular.
Yeah.
A little bigger.
A little bigger.
What on earth inspired you to take on getting a brand new breed accepted in your country? Because where we're from, if someone says, they're like, good luck. I mean, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And I imagine it's a lot of work here too, because you're dealing with reduced genetics and access.
That's it, yeah. So I guess it's
you're just a glutton for punishment, or you like a challenge?
Well, we like a challenge, yeah. We saw them, and our friends had been working on them, so we just sort of thought, well, rather than, I don't know, it would just be easier because we've got the same sort of similar animals at home, and it was easy just to mix them together to create this guy.
It's very exciting. Let's talk about the process. So, do you have to be a BRC member? Do you have to have an existing breed already working, or can you just create a breed out of thin air?
So you need to be a member of the BRC for, I think, a minimum of 3 years before you can be able to start a process and get a certificate of development. The process takes about 3 years. That's if each year is consecutive and you're doing what they want you to do and see the improvement.
So what is some of that doing what they want you to do?
So in the
I think they meaning the standards committee of the BRC?
That's right. So the first year is presenting a group of animals to show them the baseline of what you have, and then they would suggest perhaps so these guys, I think the crown needs to go up a little bit more, maybe maybe add a bit more weight. This is only a youngster, so he's going to be a big boy hopefully, and it's just so they would give little tips like that, and then for the year after they would acquire a bigger group of animals with more consistency to see everything, all the similarities.
It gets stricter and stricter every year.
Ladies and
This year
gentlemen,
is your
just a
first year. This is the
reminder
first.
that
So
the
is that going to be a little
BHD
bit more lenient on you?
seminar, that's the BHD seminar,
How
will
do you
be
feel about
taking
that?
place in 5 minutes'
Confident that
time,
you're going to go in there and you're going to be
opposite the
well
BRC and the firm feather stand. Thank you.
Just take all the advice that we're given, and then we can take that away, and then carry on.
And go from there.
Yeah.
Very cool. So this is your first year, and then for the next time you're going to take this presentation out to prove that you've had genetic improvement will be next Bradford.
Yep.
It's always at Bradford that this.
For us it will be, yeah. And then if we want to do consecutive colours, then we can start the process next year or when we've got the next group of animals. But at the moment we're just going to standardise a Gooty, and then you guys will call chestnut, and then carry on. And then if other people want to join in, they can either join in with the Agoutis or start another colour.
So a COD can be held by one person singularly, or it could be held by a group of people?
So the certificate development is held by one person, but a group of people will need to be involved to show the popularity of the breed and further down the line. So it's not just one person creating their own breed for themselves.
So what happens that last year? Do you have any idea how many breeders you have to prove or have to bring with you? Or
I think there's got to be at least 5 breeders of the Plush.
5 breeders, and how many rabbits?
So it would just be a total of 6 rabbits. So
That's it.
For this colour.
Right.
So you start with the first presentation is 4 animals, so 2 adults, 2 babies. The second presentation is an original 2 adults, and then
Please can Steve Germany, that's Steve Germany, report to section
some from
secretaries
the second
area. Thank
presentation,
you.
and then you need some more new.
So you do? Is it required to bring in presentation animals from previous years?
Yeah.
It is required.
Yeah.
So they can.
Assess where you've gone and where you're going to.
Got it. And the standards committee is made up of BRC judges.
That's right. Yeah.
And I believe Derek Medlock is the BRC standards committee chairman.
Yeah.
So he's essentially what we would consider our chairman back home, which is Kathy Schulman, and they oversee the text of the standard what goes into it.
Yeah. So we've got our standard, which is here.
Yeah.
So we've sort of adopted the Australian standard that Christine and the guys in Australia had written, brought it over, sort of tweak it as we go along, we talk to each other, and then we'll present this along with the animals. So if they're in weight, excellent. And then they may say, we might need to up the weight just so that the animal looks bigger, bolder, or it's fine the weight it is. And then or they may like want to reword something specifically. And then obviously the points are awarded as well.
Right, let's take a look at those points. We've got type, weight, and condition. Weight it's always amusing to us ARB members because we do weigh rabbits and it's important. It can prevent you from being shown as a disqualification, but they don't get points for it.
Yeah.
But weight actually is part of your.
So some of the guys
allotment.
will have brought rabbits today to show in the main show, and if their rabbit's overweight, that's it.
That's it, they're done.
For the show. Yeah.
So type, weight, and condition get a total of 25 points. Head, crown, ears, and eyes, a total of 25. And you don't actually break down these parts into their own.
Yeah, but later on we might break down.
Got it.
Yeah. So it's just
as
like
a preliminary
basic,
standard,
yeah.
this is a kind of a way for a working. It's a working standard,
That's
in other
right.
words.
And it's sort of based on other Lop breeds that are currently standardised and being shown at the moment. So
Very cool.
Trying to word it similarly.
I appreciate one of the lines you've got in here on type. It says that the hind legs are short, strong, and carried parallel to the body.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a great visual because essentially that's a full hind quarter, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
It's not something that's pinched or angled.
Yeah, so
it's brilliant.
The guys from Australia and then meeting the guys from America has been a big help, like learning about conformation and body type, and it's been awesome.
It's pretty cool that we've been able to globally link
Yeah.
across continents now, and we've been friends on Facebook for many years.
Yeah.
I think you were one of my first actually English friends on Facebook that had rabbits. So it's cool to see that it's probably had an influence on your breed as well because it's connected to breeders in Australia and essentially continental Europe. So you want to briefly tell us about their body type and what they look like, and then of course their fur.
So essentially, we want it to sort of represent a Lop, a dwarf Lop.
Dwarf Lop, which is a little bigger than a mini Lop.
Yeah. So
Which is
your mini Lops.
right. A dwarf Lop is more similar to our mini Lops.
That's right. Yeah. Obviously, you guys talk about top line and stuff.
Yes,
so
we love top line.
Yeah. So, but I don't know. We don't really talk about that.
You don't talk about it, so
we
you don't have to talk about it.
We don't have to.
No.
Yeah.
So tell us about the important parts of this breed. According to you guys.
So breeding down from a Rex to a Lop, there's lots of different things that could go one way or another way. So one is the coat, which is probably one of the biggest and most important things to differentiate it from the other Lops, because you've got Cashmere Lops with the long-coated gene, and then you've got fur Lops with just their normal coats. So obviously we want this to have a nice coat, but at the moment, and for the last 15 years, when people have been crossing them over, the Plush and the Rex, there's sort of like, these are slightly softer than the Rex. So Rex have been around for like 100 years, so their coats in improvement have like developed over that period of time. So a lot of people, I think, at the moment are wanting it to be like just a normal Rex, but it's not going to be like that straight away, because you're mixing other things in. And keeping variables down as well I think is important. So because we've been lucky, we've had a line of dwarf Lops for a long time, so we've just dipped in and taken some of the genetics out.
So you were raising dwarf Lops previous to this.
Yeah.
So that had to have helped in your big undertaking, because you had some other rabbits to cross.
Yeah.
Correct?
So a lot of the Rexes over here are quite front long legs as well, whereas
Longer
most
front legs.
longer front legs. Yeah. So most of the Lops don't. So here he's probably one of the best ones I've bred so far, where he's got short front legs, kind of nice and thick. But a lot of the crosses you might see a big L shape, where the legs are just a bit too long, and they're not able to support themselves, and so not able to show this nice back end as well. Another thing is, when you're crossing a Lop with a Rex, the Rex crown is very tight, so the Rex's ears will be up, and it's just making sure that the crown's slowly coming forward and widening so that the ears will be set in the right
If you had to
position.
fault his ears and crown, what would you say could be an improvement?
So just to bring his, I'd want his ears just to be just set behind his eye, and even the roundness of them as well could be improved on. But it's taken nearly the whole fault out of folded ear.
What were some of the early challenges in ears on your early standard Plush Lop? What did they look like that you've been able to breed out and had success with?
So we've been really, really lucky. We've only had them about 12 months, and this is probably about our third generation. So we got really good stock to start with from the guys that were doing it. But you've got up ears. One of the Plush Lops that we very first got, we said, use it, see what you get out, and this is a grand trial of that. And he came with one ear up, one ear down, but he was the size that we wanted, the weight, and he had a good coat. So he's put in the good features.
So he had a stamp on your project. Yeah, this is pretty cool. Well, good luck in your weekend. I know they show it today, but tomorrow's the big day when you go before the standard committee.
Please, can the following juniors come to the main stage?
Thanks for spending time with us. Good luck, and we really hope to be able to watch
Zoe
the
Williams,
for you and
Spencer
cheer you on.
Bartle, Antonia Galloway, Charlie Gregory.